Hello, this is Mrs. Khan, fourth grade teacher here at Germantown Elementary. On behalf of Mr. Kegler and Miss Ostermeyer, I'm going to be sharing you some information that was delivered during our back to school night presentations. If you participated and came to back to school night, all of this information will be reviewed for you. And of those who were not able to make it, this will be important information for you to keep track of and to keep. Additional papers and resources were sent home at back to school night, and if you were not there, these resources were sent home with your child the next day. First piece of resources that were sent home was our class schedules. All three of us have a class schedule, and they're very similar in the time period for specific subjects and curriculum. The only differences would be when our specials will be. So please, important to make note of when our math and reading blocks are. So if students do need to be taken out for appointments of any kind, that we hope that during those times that students are not taken out of, in order to not disrupt during their instructional time. So here's Mr. Kegler's schedule, and then here's Miss Ostermeyer's schedule. A copy of this was sent home, so please have this handy and post it on your refrigerator if you need to. Some changes in fourth grade are the new classes that students are able to participate in, which is instrumental music and chorus. Both of these are elective courses, so that means children can choose to participate in them or not with the parents' consent or approval. Instrumental music is conducted on Wednesdays, while chorus is on Fridays. Instrumental music is done and taught by Mr. Mitchell, who is our instrumental music teacher, and he's only here on Wednesdays. And so each week he will meet with groups of students based on the instruments that they are learning and practicing for 30-minute lessons and instruction. So it's really important that students are practicing at home whatever skills that he is teaching, so that way they can keep up with the curriculum and the pace of instruction. Also to note that instruction will take place throughout the entire day, so students will leave whatever classroom that they are in and participate in the lesson. So that means that they will lose or miss instruction time, and that it'll be their responsibility to make it up. So that way they can keep up with everything. Chorus is conducted by Mrs. Bubser, who is our music teacher here at Germantown. It's an elective, so students who choose to not participate in instruction will be moved with other students from the other fourth grade and fifth grade classes, and they will continue working on curriculum and content when they are not, if they choose not to participate in chorus. Chromebooks are going to continue being used in all of our classroom settings. A variety of ways that we use them in our classroom, or math zones or math centers and activities, using them for our writing tools, gathering research. We also will use the Chromebooks in reading, so it'll be, maybe they will have some content that they will be reading, or an ebook that they will be reading, and also with their responses to reading as well that they will be doing. So it's really important that our parents know their child's login. And it's important to go on and look at their content and the things that they are doing. I'm going to be posting another video to demonstrate how to log on to your child's Chromebook or Google Apps for Education account, and how to look at all of their content and information and materials on there. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to contact me or your student's homeroom teacher for additional support or questions or concerns about that as well. Agendas are homework planners. We record our homework daily in the classroom. It's part of their morning work rotation. And I, as a teacher, will make sure that I sign to signal to you that I know that they have written down their homework that night. Homeworks that will be done this year: reading. We'll be reading for 20 minutes. It is going to be the kids' responsibility that they are reading at least 20 minutes every single night, Monday through Thursday, that they are completing a written response, which is on their reading contracts, and I will be showing a video about how to fill in and complete the contracts that will be given out every Monday and then need to be turned in every Friday. Math homework, because we switched for math classes, they will be given by the math teacher, and those will be given daily. If homework is not given by the teacher, then the expectation is that they are practicing their math facts. We do practice math facts inside the classroom daily, but it's also important that students are practicing it outside. So the more proficient they are in their basic math facts of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, the more stronger and fluent they're going to be when it comes to other topics that they will be working on in math. And a new thing that we'll be working on is Words Their Way homework. Beginning in October, students will be given their sorts, and so they're focused on their word study program. And the two homeworks that they will be required to do will be one week working on definitions of their words, and on the other week will be sentences. Other activities we will continue to do inside the classroom to support them with their study for their Words Their Way words. Expectations, these have not changed. Germantown is a PBIS school, and so these three expectations are school-wide. At the beginning of the year, we work together to remind and review these expectations in different places of the school, whether it be at recess, bathrooms, hallways, the lunchroom, lining up, dismissal. We also talk about indoor recess, and also expectations in the classroom and different expectations in different areas of the classroom as well. So really important that you are asking your children how they are being successful in the school, how they are, being recognized for their behaviors as well. When students are being found doing the right thing or being respectful, responsible, or safe, they will earn a Patriot Penny, whether from me or any other adult in the school. So they are required every month to earn a certain number of Patriot Pennies in order to get their way into our PBI's parties that we hold at the end of every month. So for the month of September, it's going to be 41 Patriot Pennies. So please ask your children how many Patriot Pennies they have earned, how many more they need, what are they doing in order to earn them, and how they can continue these positive behaviors inside the school. Communication between you as the parent and us as the teachers. We have our communication folders, the red and white take-home folders, and it's just helpful if you are looking in those folders nightly to get information. So that's going to be flyers, permission slips, papers from us, papers from Miss Bryant, also papers from our central office in Montgomery County Public Schools. Also graded papers will go home that way as well. If you have any concerns or questions or things that you want to inform us as the teacher about, phone calls to our school. If we are in the middle of instruction, they will leave a note and we'll call you back. Sending notes home, sending notes to us, or you can, if you want to, write in their homework planners as well, any additional notes, and email. So please make sure that you have our email addresses, and if you need them, we will definitely make sure that you have them. That is probably one of the fastest ways that you can get into contact with any of us, and we'll be sure to email you or call you back within 24 hours of that phone call. Also, every month we send home monthly newsletters, and this just lets you know about the curriculum that we'll be working on, upcoming events, and ways that you can support your child at home with all of the content that they are learning in 4th grade. Grading and reporting, as stated in the Back to School Night presentation done by Mrs. Brian, is that grading and reporting has slightly changed. What is stayed the same is that we are still in a standard-based grading and reporting, which means that grades are collected and generated based on how students are demonstrating mastery of specific standards. The only difference is now that we are using traditional letter grades. So you can see here, and what was sent home was a pink sheet with the rubric that we use in order to grade students' work and performances inside the classroom. So with an A, it's consistently demonstrating, B, frequently, periodically, and then rarely demonstrates. So a lot of times paperwork or work will be sent home, and you might see a letter grade with additional feedback as to what they did well and how they can improve on their work. Any work that is being graded is going to be done in school. So things that are sent home, they can work on them, but usually we want to see what students are able to demonstrate and master on their own. And if you have any other questions about those kinds of things, you can always contact us and let us know about that. And there's multiple different ways that students will be graded and assessed on their understanding of specific concepts. So that might be with written, it might be with projects, posters, presentations, also with their group discussions or one-on-one discussions that they have with us. So they have multiple and varied ways that they can demonstrate their understanding. Another thing that has changed with the report card is instead of just a section for thinking and academic success skills, we now have a learning skills section. And before with the previous report card, they only had 2 task skills along with 2 learning skills that they focused on. And the task skills change from marking period to marking period. What's different now is that they will have all of these learning skills and they will be assessed on them for every single marking period. So what's going to be the same is going to be following written directions, also completing their work and collaborating with others, but some things that you can see that are going to be different is demonstrating those creative and critical thinking skills. Collaborating with others is also something that was just with one marking period, and now this is going to be with every marking period. And then a difference that you're also going to see is demonstrating that effort, motivation, persistence consistently over and over again, because with the 4th grade curriculum it gets very, very difficult and challenging, but we want to be able to provide our children with these types of skills to help them be successful not only in school but outside as well. Okay, now I wanted to talk to you all about the actual curriculum that is in 4th grade. So in reading, we will focus on both fiction and nonfiction text. Half of every marking period will be on some type of fictional literature. And on the other side, the other half of the marking period will be on nonfiction informational text. So you can see some of the different types of literature and informational text that we'll be reading throughout the entire school year. When it comes to our reading grades, all of them will be done based on grade level indicators and will be instructed in both whole and small group instruction. But all grades will be done based on small group instruction and at their instructional reading levels. Of course, it doesn't matter what reading level they are at, they will all be assessed and taught and instructed at 4th grade level indicators. For Words Their Way, we are going to continue our Words Their Way program, again knowing the difference between Words Their Way, what it is and what it is not. It is a word study program, so we focus on specific types of patterns when it comes to spelling words and sounds. It is very different than a traditional spelling program. We do a 2-week study, so we do a variety of activities that help us to understand different types of patterns as compared to just memorizing them. Every 2 weeks we will assess approximately based on the work that they have done as compared to having a spelling test every Friday, because the thing is that when they are assessed on them, it is not just every single word. So if they had 15 words, they're not going to be assessed on all 15. We're going to choose a few of the words that are in their spelling sorts, but we're also going to choose other words that meet that spelling pattern but maybe weren't in that spelling sort. So that's going to really tell us if they understand the pattern, if they're able to apply the pattern to new words that they have not necessarily had access to. When collecting and using the assessments as grades, it's going to be through their writing application, and so that's where the grades will be found when it comes to report cards. And again, something that is different, though it says nightly homework assignments, we are only giving 2 nightly homework assignments every 2 weeks when it comes to each spelling pattern that they will work on. With writing, every single marking period, we will work on 3 different writing pieces: informative, opinion, and narrative. Not every single piece is going to go through the entire writing process. For example, in the first marking period, our informative piece is not going to be graded and it's not going to be assessed on necessarily informative grade level standards. Of course, we are going to be looking at their process, production, and research when it comes to our informative writing piece, and also their word usage and language grade for that. We one of the writing pieces will be a part of our inquiry project, so we'll really take it through the entire writing process and also have some type of multimedia presentation on this writing piece that they have worked on for over almost some of them half of the marking period. While math classes are differentiated and some of the math classes are going to move a little more accelerated than in others, all of them will be focusing on these specific measurement topics. And so in every math class, while they are going to be taught at fourth grade level measurement topics and indicators, there will be differentiated instruction in all of the classes. So that means that they will be taught, there'll be opportunities for enrichment and acceleration in the classes, as well as remedial support as well. So things will be retaught if they need to, and students will be provided multiple opportunities in order to finally demonstrate their proficiency. And this is going to be done through guided math groups, which will be conducted daily inside the classroom. Science, something that is a little bit different this year is going to be our science curriculum. With it, we still will be focusing on these varying measurement topics, what are considered our core curriculum ideas, but we are going to be using the next generation science standards, which are nationwide, and they will be focusing in a kind of different way. So while we're still working on our life sciences, we're going to provide our students opportunities for more in-depth and going deeper into understanding specific science phenomenon. And there will be always an opportunity for engineering and technology practices as well. In social studies, we will be focusing on these 5 measurement topics or standards when it comes to our social studies curriculum. And so therefore, our big focus right now in the first marking period is going to be geography and culture. So we're really looking at the natural human features that we see and using maps to help us identify them, and also looking at where the human-made features are in relation to our natural features here to try to understand settlement patterns that we have with the population here in the United States. That's going to continue and help us with understanding and relating to and that's going to continue us into our study about Native Americans here, not only in the state of Maryland, but also other Native American tribes and where they lived and the natural resources that they used and how they modified the environment in order to meet their needs. And we're going to continue that study through history when it comes to the history of explorers and where they came and their expeditions that they did, and that is also then going to lead us into our first settlements here in America, specifically the first settlements here in Maryland, which is St. Mary's City. And then we also bring in the understanding about economics and how economics played a huge role in not only our explorers, economics in the role of our first settlements, and also the economics when it comes to the needs of the people here in the United States. And then, of course, we always bring in that civics, so understanding our government and the different levels of the government and the roles that different levels of the government play, specifically when it comes to Montgomery County and the state of Maryland. Throughout the entire school year, there will be a variety of assessments that we'll be taking. Some important ones to know is, of course, going to be PARCC. Students took PARCC assessment last year in 3rd grade in the springtime, and they're going to continue doing that in 4th grade. We will also continue to do our MAP assessments online. That is our measures of academic progress in both reading and math. And we do those 3 times a year in the fall, winter, and spring. So we will be coming up to our first practice very soon. We also have a variety of classroom-based assessments that we do in both reading and math specifically, and those are going to be on also different types of platforms. So it might be a written response, or it also might be something new that we'll be doing, which is a new platform called Performance Matters, where students will be logging online to either type in or use different variety of tools in order to demonstrate their proficiency, and a variety of assessments as well. And those are ongoing and will continue out throughout the entire year. Birthday parties. As stated in the packet that went home at the beginning of the year, students can celebrate their birthdays at school during our lunchtime, which is starting at 1:15. So that's something that's a little different this school year. We do not cut into our instructional time. We also ask that parents, because of food allergies with our students, please do not bring in any baked goods. Please don't bring any baked goods from home. They need to be store-bought. But also keep in mind in looking at the ingredients, because we do have peanut allergies in our class. Also, with birthday parties, please don't have your students bring in party invitations, as they are not allowed to distribute them in school. If you sign up and put your information on our listserv, or there was a yellow sheet from the PTA where they wanted to make a communication log with information from all of our students, that'll be a great way in order to be able to send out party invitations to all of the students that you want to participate. And also keep it in mind, because we have a student who does have a peanut allergy here at school, that he will not be sitting with the rest of the class during our lunch time, but also to be cognizant of other students. So please be mindful of bringing, peanut products into school, and also when it comes to snack. Students are allowed to have snack, especially because our lunchtime is so late in the day, but also be mindful of what they are bringing in. And students tend to sometimes want to eat their entire lunch during snack time, but if you're planning and packing something for them, that it is small and healthy, so that way they are able to sustain their energy and mind function throughout the school day. Donations, we would love donations. Specific ones, obviously, are tissues. We have a whole bunch right now, but we always seem to run out throughout the year. Hand sanitizer, very helpful in our classrooms. Also, Ziploc bags, we use them a lot, specifically when it comes to our Words Their Way. And recycled items, specifically 2-liter soda bottles, clear. We love them and we'll be using them in science. And then in the second marking period, we'll be asking for other recycled items to be used for another project that we'll be doing as well. So thank you so much for participating and listening to this. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me, Mrs. Khan, or your student's homeroom teacher. And please sign up for a conference if you haven't already done so. And if you need to, please email or call your homeroom teacher to set up a time for the conference as well. Thank you so much.